Hello and welcome, followers, subscribers, and other racing fans. Welcome to Revolution Cup Season 4, race number 4. We are here at Watkins, Glen, and with me tonight is the Wayfarer, aka Michael.
Hello, Mano. Hello, viewers. Again, a pleasure to be here.
Definitely. So yeah, we had like a very good first 3 races. A lot of action, a lot of overtakes. We had 3 different winners in 3 races. Just quite good actually.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, we have something we have to announce. Like we will skip the highlight video. We will skip the driver standings and all of that. We're going straight into the game. Need to change.
And he's doing the donuts.
and I'm still not on it.
Oh.
Let's go directly into it. So yeah. Alright, announcements. Unfortunately, what does mean unfortunately? Flying Cayman, founder member of RSR, is leaving us. He has enough of that stressful job, I would say. And yeah, he left us. He will be still around. And yeah, that's his lap. Only he is outside at the moment. It's his out lap, and he will also start the qualifying. So yeah, nothing more to say, I guess. I mean,
yeah, it's definitely a nice gesture. I mean, I'm only part of RSR now for it's exactly 1 year. So yeah, I mean, I think everybody loves Cayman.
Yeah.
How he is. He's always nice. He always has a lot of fun.
Exactly.
And I mean, you cannot love his giggle.
I would say we're dropping quickly downstairs, have a look what they are doing, and then going back to the qualifying. So I'll move you for a second. Hello and hello! Everyone is live here.
Hello. Hello. Oh.
Kevin, how are you feeling, man?
Shaking during the lap.
The pressure not to spin, huh? Kevin, that's only for you. Many thanks for those years, for the hard work, for everything, literally. And yeah, the outlap was for you. And let's hope that's the pole lap now. And for all the others, the qualifying is now open. Have lots of fun. And yeah, we see us after the race, guys. So good luck, everyone.
Yeah, good luck, everyone.
Yeah, cheers.
Good luck.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
He was shaking. I can imagine that. I can imagine that. So yeah, qualifying is on. 2 minutes longer than usual, but I think that should be fine. And obviously, Flying Cayman now on his first time lap, obviously.
Yeah, so he will take provisional pole, at least for about 2 minutes.
Exactly. But yeah, now everyone else is driving out. I have a couple people still in the pits. I saw Narco in the pits. Guess he's the only one. Yeah, Project PD.
There we already have a very interesting train. Project PD following Puff Parrot.
Yeah, there was a lot of confusion, a lot of discussing material last week at Sakito about the Corvette. Just can glue to the rear of the Ford without any problems. So yeah, there was a lot of discussions in the forum, a lot of discussions in TeamSpeak, lots of discussion anywhere, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, doesn't change the thing that Project PD is still in the Corvette and Puffy is still in the Ford, and both are fighting for the championship.
But I mean, I have to say that's what makes it interesting. A little bit of trash talking, a little bit of confusion, a little bit of controversy makes all the things interesting.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we would be Formula 1.
Yeah,
and that's what we are definitely not.
I mean, in this case, the Corvette would be like the Mercedes, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, Flying Cayman, provisional pole, 144 flat. I'm pretty sure the times will be in the 41s. 40s. I think I saw also some 39s. I'm not too sure about it.
Yeah, I have to say I have no idea what people are doing, so I will get surprised. But yeah, I guess 40 should be possible in Qualitrum.
Definitely. So I know we can have a quick look to the standings, but I mean we have a lot of time. So we go quickly to the standings. Here we go. So currently Puff Pirate is leading with 105 points. And as we said already, Project PD with 77 points behind him. I mean, that's still a decent gap of 28 points. But if there's like one DNF or one bad result for Puff Pirate, Project PD is back into the game. Same for Salmon, only with 72 points. Also quite close. I think Espert is out now. I think he's missing the second race. So I think...
He's definitely out, but one thing to add for Puffy, I mean, for him it would be probably the best to kind of fix the title next race at Hockenheim, because at Bathurst anything can happen. So if we are going to Bathurst with the championship still open, I think there's a lot of pressure on him, and it might get quite crazy there.
Yeah, and it's 75 minutes of racing, so we have additional 15 minutes. So this will be quite interesting, and yeah, like Bathurst, Mount Panorama, I think there are always crazy things happening.
Yeah. But yeah, now back to what's happening on the track. We currently have Puffy with a 140.8. Bassman currently on second place, 3/10 behind him, and Project PD on third place with a 141.182. That's currently the top three, but we still have 18.5 minutes to go, so there will be plenty of improvements. We also have a few guest drivers this time, so I won't pronounce the full name. It's just called 118 in here.
Well, let's call him Jerry.
Okay,
and he made a weird move. But yeah, I think the only Aston, maybe Andrex is also driving the Aston, I'm not sure about it. So yeah, first guest driver for tonight, 118. As far as I know, living in the US, but he's actually from China.
Yeah, he's actually from China, but living in the US.
So only a Chinese driver in the complete RSR. That's quite quite unique. The next one is Diluvian. You're in Andrex. Or Andrex.
Or Andrex, yeah.
So yeah, Andrex, lovely guy. Very active in AOR, hosting there the Endurance Championship. And he loves his BMW. So, I mean, I was like, okay, he's taking the BMW. Or the Aston. He's loving to take the underdog car.
But he definitely chose a fitting livery for this race.
Yeah, the American style.
Yeah, proper American style. And yeah, the third reserve driver, Diluvian, is nearly regular this season also.
Yeah, he wasn't sure if he can. The feet is still in the standings. Well, that's good that you're telling me that, Gozu. I totally forgot about that. There we go. Yeah, I'm cutting my dinner at the moment. So yeah, Diluvian in the Porsche tonight. I think he drove the Porsche all the time.
Yeah, first race I think he was doing the Ford, because there was no Porsche back then.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's quite a strong reserve driver actually. So it'll be interesting where he can put his car. Currently sitting in P2 with a 44. So yeah, I think the next driver. I think we have still one more, and that must be Stitch.
Yeah, true, Stitch. Also in the BMW.
That seems quite popular, the BMW, on this track. So yeah, Stitch. He was a long time away, had some hardware issues, computer issues. But yeah, as soon as the computer seemed to work again, he's back racing. So really awesome that he's back now, also in the BMW. And yeah, it will be quite interesting to see what he can manage after that long break he had to do. Yeah, it will be quite interesting.
But currently he seems quite on pace, so that long break didn't hurt him at all. And yeah, definitely the reserve driver, I think, can do a little bit of damage to the regulars in terms of points. I mean, especially Puffy will probably hope that Diluvian finishes between him and Project BD, so he gains a little bit more extra points.
Yeah, but that's how we are doing things. Guest drivers always welcome. They're filling up the field. They are always a good addition. But yeah, but I don't know. We will see. Like I just saw that Salmon puts in our 40.2. Now he's sitting in P2.
And we are already also in the 39s with Puffy with 139.875. Currently provisional pole. And I think he's trying it again to go fast, so he's doing another lap.
Maybe we should enter his car for the next lap. You can have a look.
Yeah, probably.
When he's starting his time lap, I would say.
Yeah. But we can already roll with him a little bit as we are already at the end of the lap. So as maybe some already noticed, we are running the full layout in Watkins Glen and not the probably a little bit more famous NASCAR layout with the short skewed between the turns 6 and 9. But yeah, it seems like
I think that the short move would be a little bit mental.
Yeah, I think for endurance racing it's not that fitting.
Yeah. Alright, last turn. Very important, the exit obviously, and now on the start-finish line. See 4 liters left, that should be enough for a lap. So coming now into turn 1. That's the 90. Very close apex. You can go wide here, but not that wide.
Yeah, that was a bit too wide.
That was a bit too motivated. And now obviously the S's, you can usually do that flat with the GTE cars. Going now to the back straight, up to 6 gear. I think the top speed is around 260. I think 260, 270. Now hard braking into the bus stop. You can move right, left, trying to hit the apex. Very good, well done.
Now into the coming from the inner loop, coming into into the outer loop or carousel, as it's called, and into the boot section, the longer section, which is part of the GP course that was used, I think, in the 70s in Formula 1.
Exactly.
And also IndyCars and IMSA and all the other major series in the US probably run that, except for NASCAR. And yeah, Puffy is destroying our plans. But yet the other half of the lap we saw already earlier, so yeah,
it was quite unfair.
Yeah, definitely. Puffy destroying our plans. But yeah, let's go now to second place from the last race, Fenor. He definitely surprised us there, with second place.
Yeah, currently sitting in P9. Quite a big margin actually to Puffy this time. It also seems like that Project PD is struggling a little bit. At least currently sitting in P5 with 6 tenths behind Puff Pirate. That's not how it should go for him if he really wants to fight for the championship title.
Yeah, I think it's probably because the track doesn't really have long straights, and as far as I know, the Corvette is kind of a monster on straights and fast flowing corners. I mean, we have a lot of flowing corners, but they are more like mid-speed to low speed, so... But yeah, maybe they all also fixed more on race setup and will kill then again everybody in race pace. So I think we have to surprise ourselves. But currently it looks like a little bit of a wiggle there, so it's probably not going to be a very fast lap, but maybe still some improvement there.
Yeah, also the Porsche is making space. Oh, that was quite close to the wall actually.
Yeah.
Didn't tap the wall. But we still have 11 minutes to go, so there's plenty of time to improve it. It goes a little bit wide, still okay. And can he improve? Yes, yeah, P9 for Fenor. I guess there's a little bit more time he can find, because there was some few mistakes he did. Now we're on camera with Battenberg, our lovely moderator.
I think he's currently on the out lap because he has not his headlights on. Headlights on is normally a sign for the other drivers that you're on a hot lap, and if they are on an out lap or something, that they know that they try not to impede you. But it seems like he's not going for his hot lap.
Yeah, some traffic in front of him. Lights are on. So let's have a look.
That was definitely a regular through turn 1. He wasn't going as wide as Puffy did before.
Exactly. Now through the S's now.
Through the S's.
But there is quite a few traffic in front of him, so this will be...
I mean, now he's probably capitalizing a little bit on that with a little bit of slipstream.
Oh, and there was a wiggle on the bus stop.
That's definitely not fast through there.
Through the outer loop. And now we're going into, I think it's called Shoot. I'm not completely sure, but I think it's Shoot. Oh, and there's also the Aston.
The Shoot is the small straight between the outer loop and turn 6. They are now in the boot section. Turn 7 we were just now is called toe, now coming into heel. Unfortunately, you don't have to heel and toe in these cars. But I mean, probably many people see it like fortunately, but heel and towing and 8 shifting is also quite fun with some cars. So, but that was 20 years ago.
Also quite close to the wall, but still no contact. Now he has BMW in front of him. Maybe he can capitalize a little bit of the draft. Good last turn actually. So where will he place his car?
No improvement.
No improvement. Wow.
I mean, yeah, he had a lot. He didn't do a lot of practice because he was racing again with me this weekend with the Wheel MS 4 Hours of Sebring, which didn't end how we wanted it. Killing the car on P5 and Sunset Bend is not the loveliest way to drop out of a race, but yeah, nothing to do about it. So he could put his full concentration on this event, but I think he's still lacking a little bit of practice, and I think that was Stitch going off in front of him. Maybe let's focus to somebody else. Elodie also quite far down the standings. So I was expecting him a little bit further up the standings, but yeah, maybe he can improve. And we also have Alex Selman now in the 39th with a 1:39.952 on P2, and Project PD was able to improve, but he's still nearly half a second down. But it seems like he's currently on a... I don't know if he's on a hot lap. But that looks quite on pace, so we'll keep with him a little bit. Anything else? Yeah, Miyagi also currently quite far down the standings. For his standards, he's normally also a top 5 runner. But seems like he was struggling the whole time a little bit with the Ford, so it's probably not his car. His teammate, the Doctor 46, on track behind him, but in the standings in front of him. Okay, that was Puff Pirate to let Miyagi go. I think he's currently on his out lap, so we should expect a fast lap of him again in a few minutes when he has crossed start-finish line. Oh, that doesn't look good for Jono. Yeah, unfortunately, Jono again, he's kind of mutating to a solo team because Cluck, I think it's the third time now in a row that Cluck isn't able to race. So the team, the two Johnnies, is currently only made of one John. So,
well, but Cluck was visiting his parents, had a lovely weekend.
Okay, so it was worth it probably.
He excused already his no-show for Watkins, but he should be back for the final two races, Hockenheim and Bathurst.
Yeah,
I don't think he won. Yeah.
on Bathurst, I'm expecting quite a lot of him. Maybe some people already know. Clark did a very crazy project during the Christmas break. He was trying to set the world record on Bathurst of every car in the game. And I think he managed with about 150 of the 180 cars at that point. So, Clark and Bathurst, I think that's...
Yeah, that's like a love relationship.
That's definitely a love relationship.
From the better sort.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, roughly 5 minutes remaining. Puff Pirate still sitting on pole. Selman very close, only less than a tenth behind him. And then we have PD, who could place his car in front of Diluvian, which, yeah, was definitely needed.
Yeah.
Definitely needed. And then we have on P5 we have Fab Iceman. P6 we have Flurko. That's quite surprising actually.
Yeah, that's quite surprising.
And Night Tiger on 7 and
the Doctor on 8.
Doctor on P8. I was thinking, is it Catch a Glimpse or Deck Glimpse or no?
Or Catch a Glimpse is on P9. Diafino still only in P12. That is quite surprising me, but the other Corvettes are also struggling. Crispy Cross, and I think Nada is a no-show this time, as far as I know, or at least I haven't seen him yet in the standings. So, oh no, my mistake. Nada is here, but he has to serve a 5 places start penalty, a grid penalty.
Exactly.
Because I think it was because of an incident at Silverstone. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was an incident at Silverstone, but he didn't participate in the Sakito event. So he has to serve now the 5 grid penalty at Watkins Glen. I hope he's aware of it. We will see that if he's not serving the grid penalty, there might be some harsher penalties from the stewards. Not 100% sure about it. I leave that to the stewards.
We currently have the top 2 guys in the pits. Alex Salmon now going out for his final run. Yeah, that's should get one more flying lap in. Or not. Yeah, it's still at some time. But that definitely didn't help his strategy. So yeah, Fab Iceman, we didn't really talk about him today, so... Hey,
so let's talk about him.
Yeah, true. There's not so much to talk about him. But the new member to RSR, really surprising that he's, and it's nice to see new faces that wide, that's ahead in the standings, that's far on top. So I mean, he already had, I think he already won 2 times in normal RSR official events.
Yeah, that is true. Very fast guy. And it seems like the fast guys are always coming from Germany.
Yeah, it seems like.
Because currently, well, Selman is doing a good job. But out of the top 5, we have 4 German drivers. Oh, that was a little wall tap.
Connected with a beautiful slide there.
Yeah, and he is abandoning the lap, which basically means he's done for the qualifying. Same goes to Puffy, same goes to Salmon. So only Project PD at the moment is still on a hot lap.
That looks quite on the edge already.
He's really pushing the car. He's half
really
a second behind.
everything.
Let's have a look if he can improve. And he can't improve, unfortunately. He's still stuck on P3, but he has another shot.
Yeah, I think we should stick with him now. He's probably the driver that can still steal the pole from Puffy. So yeah, now coming into the bus stop or in the loop. Yeah, that looked very clean through there. Oh! But a little bit of power oversteer there out of the bus stop.
Yeah, and that's it for
going out again.
That's it for PD. But I don't think he has time. Maybe he wants to.
Yeah, probably he wants He probably wants to do it for his mind, his mental health, to get that section right again. Because sometimes if you're doing such a mistake on a final lap, it kind of crawls into your mindset.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And we have Clark in the chat. Good evening, Clark.
Yeah, good evening, Clark. You definitely missed that short story time about you.
Yeah, that should be fine. But yeah, if something starts in racing at Bathurst, there will be serious trouble. Well, only trouble to yourself, my friend.
Oh yeah, and we have a question from Falcon, who is the evening admin. It's Flying Cayman. We had a farewell party earlier in the qualifying.
And he was actually shaking, so I guess that's a good sign. But yeah, you see he's stepping down. He needs some personal time, some time for yourself. And I mean, it's not like that we're doing nothing. Like all the staff people who are active for RSR are doing a lovely job. A lot of work, a lot of extra hours besides the racing. So yeah. It's time to make space for the new victims who would like to do something.
In the meantime, we saw Silly Sausage unfortunately making a mistake coming out of the boot section, rubbing the wall a bit, and yeah, that was pretty much screwing his lap. Well, we don't have that many people on track anymore. Fair Biasman is coming to the pits, so probably no improvement by him. We still have Bettenberg currently in the final turn. Oh, that was also a little bit wide. Maybe he can improve. He's also going slow. That doesn't look too fast. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much qualifying our... we have Yagi now P6. Earlier I was talking that I'm a little bit disappointed of him, but now he's where we would expect him. And don't think that was an improvement by him. But yeah, qualifying is over, all blur in the pits. The countdown is still going down. There are still people driving, which is quite surprising. Yeah. At least cars driving in the pits. But yeah, once again, pole for Puff Parrot, but Alex Salmon spoiled the German party at the front. In P3 we have Project BD, and on P4 Diluvian.
Yes, Diluvian, definitely a surprise of the evening. With,
that was too fast for us.
Yeah, no, I scrolled a little bit through, but I think doesn't matter.
Yeah, we can, if needed, we can go through the rest at the beginning. So we have Pep Iceman in P5, Yagi in P6, Eugene Flurker in P7, Night Tiger in P8, Peenor in P9, and the Doctor 46 rounding up the top 10.
Now the drivers have 2 minutes time to adjust the setup, do last changes if there are any needed. Refueling the tank, maybe reloading the setup, anything you have to do, maybe checking the pit strategy. And then we're going into the formation lap. Will be a little bit different. The formation lap will be a little bit faster this time. Many drivers were complaining a little bit about the tire temperature are dropping too much because the formation lap is too slow. So we're upping that now a little bit. That means 80 kph, 80 miles per hour, 130 kph for the lead car. I see we're already on Flying Cayman again. Yeah. Do you want him to pull in again? Or I mean, I was thinking about Diluvian.
Yeah, probably talk to Diluvian. I mean, we already talked to Cayman.
I mean, we talked to Puffy, we talked to Salmon. Project PD wants to talk in German all the time, but I think we can't do that.
I mean, we could, but yeah.
So yeah, now we are forming up. So the field is now all Puffies. So what are you expecting from the race?
Like, I hope it's going to be again a big battle at the front, but I'm a little bit skeptical. by seeing the pace of Puffy. Maybe Salmon is able to keep up with him, but the problem is, yeah, you have to fight a lot of dirty air on this track. So maybe even more extreme than it was at Sakido, because at Sakido you had the 2 long straights where you could catch up again to the guys in front of you, but this time you don't have them.
Exactly. I think that the top overtaking spots definitely maybe after the S's. You have some slipstream.
To be honest, I have to say that the pass stop is a very tricky corner to pass.
I think you have definitely to prepare that move, like along turn 1.
I think turn 1 is probably the hot spot. Maybe going turn 7, turn 8, the heel section, and maybe if you're really brave, going into turn 6 after the chute. If you get a very good drive out of the outer loop, if you can get alongside him, I think you can try the dive bomb, but it will be a crazy move if you're doing that.
Yeah. So let's pull Diluvian in before it's too late. Hopefully he's not confused as he was in season 3. Hello, Mr. Diluvian.
Hey.
Our regular guest driver of the season. Very strong P4 for you at Watkins Glen. So what are your expectations of the race?
I don't know. It seems I'm the only Porsche in top 10. I don't know if I can follow them in front of me. They are brutally fast. Even Fab Iceman, I don't know if I can hold up with them, but I try everything I can do.
Awesome. Then we wish you the best of luck. We're already seeing you're forming up 2x2.
Yep.
And yeah, rock and roll.
Yeah, have fun.
See you in 1 hour.
Good luck.
Thank you.
He's not very convinced of himself.
No. Maybe it's more the realistic guy.
I'm the only Porsche in top 10. Please kill me. So yeah, we're now entering the last corner. I did interrupt you, but I think it's now time that we have a look at the start at the front runners, Salmon and Buff Pirate. The start will be now very important. And there we go. Green. Puff Pirate with an amazing start. Can maintain his position. Salmon in 2. Project PD in 3. And there was already an attack by Fab Iceman to Diluvian. But Diluvian can hold P4 then side by side through the S's. And Iceman is already through. Awesome done.
And Puffy already gapped the field by half a second.
Crazy what it's doing.
Crazy. But we have now Project PD trying it on the back straight.
And this is a tricky one side by side, but he's going right. Oh, and a little mistake.
He's going wet. That was a costly mistake. And he's cutting, but he didn't gain any positions. He actually lost one, so I think that should be fine.
He lost one position. So Fab Iceman now in P3, and not the best start for Project PD. Now sitting in P4 again. Not what he wanted. Here we have Vernax.
Yeah, I saw people side by side a little bit there, but the focus was going away, so it was I wasn't able to catch who that is. But Salmon, seems like Salmon had a very awesome chute and toe corner, and he's now side by side with Puffy.
And they're still side by side. That means for the next turn, Salmon has theoretically the advantage, and he is attacking, pushing Puffy outside. And they're still side by side. That is crazy stuff. But now Salmon backs out again and goes behind Puff Pirate for the last 2 turns. But I see they already attack again for the first couple turns.
Yeah, I think Alex is doing the right thing. You have to attack and break Puffy's rhythm. Otherwise, I mean, you saw what happened in turn 1 and 2. He was already away. He was trying to get away.
And there was contact!
Contact, yeah.
Salmon.
Please no Pantorino, a famous YouTuber would say.
There was contact in turn 1. Salmon lost his car completely. Now back at P10, P11. Not sure if
it looked like damage on Puffy's car.
That was a little bit too optimistic from Salmon here. Braked a little bit too late, maybe missed the braking point, and drives into the rear of Puff Pirate. Let's hope he has not too much damage, like both of them, and they can continue, but definitely not the way Salmon wanted to start this race. We have still 59 minutes to go and he's already down to P10.
I mean, it doesn't really look like, but yeah, the visual representation and the real damage might be different. There we have now Project PD again under attack by Fab Iceman. But they probably shouldn't meddle too much and try to work together to catch again Puff Pirate.
Exactly, Puff Pirate extending the lead now, 1.4 seconds. That's exactly playing into his hands again. Clean air in front of him, a little gap behind him. He can just drive his laps down without any pressure of anyone. But yeah, now it's down to Project PD if he can maintain the pace, if he can maintain the gap, or if he's maybe slower, and yeah, losing some time next couple laps.
Yeah, it seems like Puff Pirate is now taking off. The gap is already 1.1 second. And it seems like it's growing a bit, so...
Yeah, but Project PD put in a faster lap time, definitely, but that's maybe down because of the...
Because of the punt.
Because of the punt in turn 1. Salmon currently is still sitting in P10. Quite like half a second gap to P9.
Fino was already quite aggressive through there, side by side through turn 3, sorry. But yeah, side by side through the S's is very dangerous.
It is.
You often see it in NASCAR races that there are a lot of accidents happening because people aren't really careful doing side by side through there.
And Fino is now under pressure from Salmon.
Yeah, and Fino lost the place to the Doctor. And is now also under attack by Salmon.
But this will be now quite interesting. Again, Ford against the Corvette. At Sakito, the Corvette had a slight advantage. It seems like at Watkins Glen, the Ford is a little bit stronger than last round. And Project PD is closing the gap. So it seems like Puff Pirate might have some damage or out of the rhythm. And Salmon with a mistake.
Again, yeah. I mean, we had a very interesting comment of Clark. He said that these cars take air damage quite easily, although we might not see it. He might have some damage, which is hindering him on the straights. So yeah, and I think he definitely tries to push it now on the braking zone to regain a little bit of the lost times on the straights.
And Salmon going to the
Salmon
pits.
in the pits. Yeah, I think the right thing to do. The right thing to do now with damage.
Last lap, Puff with a 41.8 and Project PD with 41.3. So that's definitely some damage here with Puff Pirate on his rear.
Yeah.
But that gives PD now the opportunity to close the gap and maybe even do the overtake. It's now down to Puff Pirate. If he rather goes to the pits early, maybe repair the damage, or if he tries to stick out and maybe just secures P2 or even P3.
But what I've heard is that a lot of people are really struggling with the tires here, so although it's a race in April and we are quite near to the border of Canada, so it should actually be cold in April, but yeah, it isn't. So a lot of people are struggling with the tires, so I think you don't want to be too early on the pit stop because you will lose a lot of time coming to the end of the race. But yeah, definitely seems like Puffy has some damage, or just he's not in his comfort zone anymore. But yeah, it's definitely making the race more interesting for us, so we can't complain.
Yeah, also if you're looking at the lap time from Fab Iceman, he equaled Puff Pirate in the last lap. So it seems like that even with some damage, Puff Pirate is still able to at least stay in front of Fab Iceman. But now PD is definitely in attack range, now 4/10 behind him, so he can, if he's doing it right, he can prepare his attack on the back straight.
Maybe get a very good run through here. Maybe there was a little wobble there, but wasn't clear. But now, yeah, let's getting a very nice run through here for the S's. Maybe he can get himself close towards the bus stop and then try a move maybe through the tube or then coming into tow.
Yeah, but it seems like that the Ford has a slight top speed advantage towards the Corvette, at least what I've heard. from a couple of Ford drivers who tested against the Corvette at Watkins. But it definitely seems like that Puff Pirate is struggling here at the moment.
Yeah.
So PD is closing in. Fab Iceman can maintain the gap roughly around 2 seconds at the moment. And then we have already Diluvian and Miyagi and Night Tiger already doing mid to high 42s. So this battle is definitely between Puff Pirate, PD and Fab Iceman.
Yeah. And it's PD is getting closer and closer, so...
Now very close to the last section. Now we have the final 2 turns. Definitely no spots for overtaking, so PD might just try to stick on his rear and prepare for turn 1 or maybe the back straight again.
Yeah. But yeah, now I don't think he's trying it into turn 1. Huff is extremely strong on the brakes, so yeah. But maybe he gets a run out of the S's, but yeah, still, as I said before, it's quite dangerous to pass there. And I think that's the last thing he wants to, kill both of the championship contenders.
Yeah, but it seems like that the Ford is definitely stronger through the S's.
Yeah.
And it's definitely also better on the brakes against the Corvette. So at the moment, Puff Pirate can hold PD behind him, but it needs only one mistake, and the Corvette is through. Fab Iceman also fell into the mid 42s, so definitely losing now some ground to the top 2 runners.
Yeah, I mean, what I've heard is after 7 to 10 laps, the tires start a really strong degradation. So I think we will see a lot of people struggling.
And there is also a fight going on P16, Huge Kiss against Narcor. Yeah. Also Battenberg, very close together at the moment. A pack of 4 cars actually. We have a Porsche, we have 2 Ferraris, we have a BMW, a very mixed field. Now a little driving mistake by, that must be Battenberg, so now... No, that was a mistake by Narcor, and now Battenberg could take the opportunity and overtake. Same for Stitch, also through. Narcor lost 2 places in 2 corners. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, so, but maybe he will be able to regain the positions again.
Yeah, so Stitch currently is sitting in P18, now trying to follow Battenberg and Huge Kiss.
But yeah, it seems like Narco is definitely, he's getting faster and faster in Project Cars 2. I mean, Project Cars 1 he was more of the Split 2 guy, but he already surprised me with being eligible to race in Split 1 in Season 3 and now also. And I mean, he's currently ahead of his teammate Elodie, so...
Yeah, definitely not his best season at the moment, Elodie. Now currently attacking Groby, who switched to the Porsche. I don't think it's enough, he sticks behind him.
And we also have 118 in the pits.
It looks like damage.
Also because of damage.
Looks like damage.
And what is quite surprising, Stolnikas currently in last place. It is really surprising. But yeah, it seems like his car is limping already a little bit. That doesn't look like full speed. And yeah, Project P already... He's losing a lot again some ground.
Yeah, it's a very difficult track to overtake, especially when you don't have the top speed you would like to have to overtake the Ford. So yeah, I guess the mission for Puff Pirate for now, try to leave Project PD behind him, because as soon as PD can overtake, the Ford has troubles again in the dirty air. Which then results into increased gap to PD. So he's doing it definitely right what he's doing right now, maintain the gap, try to drive a little bit away, and yeah, it's working out at the moment for Puff Pirate.
Yeah. And I think we have, battling group here, Flying Cayman against 2 Corvettes.
Very strong actually from Flying Cayman. He started in P20 and now already in P14, so that's a position gain of 6.
Yeah. He's definitely capitalizing on his partnership with Puff Pirate to form Flying Pirate Racing this season. So he's definitely capitalizing on the good setups of Puffy.
Yeah, they're definitely helping. Now a little bit slow for turn 1, but it seems like that he can leave Crispy Cross behind him. In front of him nada, so in a Corvette sandwich.
And seems like Battenberg is catching up to this group. So we might also see a Ferrari bringing some mix into this group. So Battenberg was able to kind of captive the group behind him that he was battling before with Stitch, Narco and Hutchkiss.
Yeah, there must be a mistake by Hutchkiss. He's now sitting in P19. Yeah. Lost two places again. No, actually three places. And puts him behind the group of cars again, which he was leading 2 laps ago.
Yeah. Very surprising Steve in P26. I'm not sure if he is pitted already, but...
looks like damage on the rear, definitely, for sure.
Yeah, damage on the rear. Maybe already also a pit stop, because 1 minute 2 gap to the backs normally. I mean, we have Alex Salmon with a gap of 45 seconds to the leaders, so that could be already resulted from a pit stop.
But if I look at the lap times, last lap Salmon did a 41.3. Was currently doing the fastest laps on the track.
But you have to consider his tires are, yeah, I think five laps fresher than the others. So, but I think he will lose that bonus in 1 or 2 laps. As we are already nearing the first quarter of our race.
It's getting now a little bit interesting between Fino and Tao. Fight for P8. At least if the standing is not lying.
Yeah, it's a little bit lying, unfortunately. But as far as I see it, PD is getting closer again, so it seems like this will be kind of a ping-pong game the whole race. The gap is growing, the gap is shrinking, the gap is growing, the gap is shrinking.
Until we're going into the pits, then you will see. Now obviously the strategic point of view comes into play. Do I want to pit early? Do I want to pit late? Do I want to do the undercut, overcut? And I'm driving till the end and doing last 3 laps the pit stop. All options Puff Pirate can now consider. But I guess for the time being, he just tries to stay in front of PD.
Yeah, but I think the last option is very unrealistic because of tire wear on this track and problems that people have with tires. So I think maybe Project PD is sitting behind and thinks, yeah, I will just watch and see when he's going to the pits. Then I will try to maybe stretch 1 more lap or 2 more laps to go full push. Or he's trying the undercut, that's also possible.
Yeah.
But then I think Puff is probably reacting the next lap if he sees PD coming to the pits.
Yeah, it's a little bit unknown because we don't know what PD can do race pace wise if there's no Ford in front of him.
Yeah.
So we can't say if he's now just going with Puff Pirate. Could he go faster? Or he just wants to stick at the moment behind Puffy, just out of a strategic point of view. But yeah, the gap stays around half a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be interesting the second half of the race, what actually will happen now.
But Death Biceman is still able to somewhat keep up with him. His gap of 2.5 to 3 seconds is also quite constant, stable at the moment.
But you can see the last sector, the Corvette is quite strong actually, it can close a little bit up. But now you can see on the straight the strength of the Ford. Yeah,
I think that's definitely, as you said, I think the Corvette is better than
and there's a spinner in front.
That was 118.
Totally okay to go wide here.
Yeah. But yeah, it seems like we still have to wait a little bit for some action between these two.
But it seems like Iceman is also recovering a little bit. We have a 41.8 by Puffy.
I think he was faster than Puff Pirate last time, and I think he maybe was able to capitalize a little bit on that 118 spinning in front of them. They have to take evasive action, and we have now the Doctor 46 in the pits doing his mandatory pit stop quite early. Yes, I think, but yeah, we will see how that plays out. Okay, that also looked closer on the standings than it is.
Yeah, sometimes I guess I think there's a fight going on between Nada and Flying Cayman.
And Narco and Crispy Cross.
Yeah,
but there we have again another group. It's Flying Cayman against Edinburgh, so one admin fighting his fellow ex-admin, and there was, I think it was Silis also hitting the wall there.
Yeah,
coming out of the outer loop.
There he is. Yeah, looks a little bit damaged.
Yeah, a little bit. I think a little bit of damage on the left side. Not too much on my screen. But let's concentrate back on that battle. Yeah, definitely Battenberg is improving and improving, and there was a lockup of Flying Cayman, so that might have cost some time and also some tires. But yeah, Battenberg constantly improving. Started, I think, P22.
Ooh, and there's Jessen again from 118. And there was an accident.
That was an accident.
That must be
silly sausage, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not sure why 118 is not
retiring.
Going to the pits.
Yeah, he's
retired.
That's definitely better for all the other drivers.
Very, very, stupid place, I could say, to spin.
Yeah.
There was no way out.
Yeah, I think that's something with the GT cars, that once you spin, you kind of always lose your car a little bit. I experienced that in an other event with the GTs we were doing. I think it was in Texas, the 2 hours endurance event. I was spinning once and then I had no grip on the fast corners at all and had to pit because of that. It could be that maybe 118 was also affected by that, or I was just doing driving errors.
Yeah, we have Project PD currently again gluing behind Puff Pirate. So he could definitely close the gap again. It seems like PD just tries to stick behind him, maybe saving some fuel.
I think so. He's just trying to stick behind him and maybe lets the hammer fall after the pits or shortly before the pit stops. I mean, that's probably a wise move on this track, as it's harder to pass on Watkins than on most other tracks, or a lot of other tracks on the schedule. We'll probably just try to overtake him in the pits without doing a real overtake on track.
Exactly, and the fight between Nada and Flying Cayman is still on. The standings are not lying again.
You're getting closer to Nada.
Getting closer. And like the standing is telling me that Nada is
behind Cayman.
It's
time-wise.
It's weird,
I think that's Elodie or Narco. That's probably Narco coming out of the pits.
Yeah. So also early pit stop for Narco. And the 20 minutes into the race means that Elodie is now in front of his teammate again.
Yeah. But yeah, with the little bit strange pit entry on this track, the race field is full of people making the pit stops who actually didn't. So I was shortly a little bit confused because I thought Fab Iceman was already in pits, but he's still in P3, of course. But yeah, Project PD again looking into Puffy's exhaust pipes.
The last sector is definitely the Corvette ones.
Yeah.
Now less than 3/10.
Yeah, it's now in direct draft.
But again, it seems like the Corvette has not enough power. up the S's and then to the back straight. I mean, he's now very close. He wasn't close the last couple laps, but yeah, it will be interesting if he's trying a move now. Puffbauer definitely goes the defensive line here to the right side, which definitely gives him not a very nice entrance of the bus stop, but yeah.
Yep. He would have been able to capitalize a bit on that, but I think he was too close. Because otherwise he would be able to get a clean run through there and maybe then prepare an attack coming out of the outer loop. But yeah, now it's definitely getting interesting again. And we have Silly Sausage and Hutchkiss in the pits. Yeah, for Silly Sausage it was quite obvious after that moment.
Yeah, but PD is now making serious. He sticks now directly behind Puff Pirate. So it seems like he would like to overtake in the next couple laps. So it will be now interesting again. Last sector, a stronger sector for the Corvettes. Also better line through that corner. So he can definitely stick behind Puff Pirate now in the last sector. And now the same game as the last lap. Trying to go through turn 1. And then maybe, if there's some space, make the move on the back straight into the bus stop.
I think passing Puffy on turn 1 is quite impossible.
Yeah.
Considering how late Puffy is able to brake.
And there's also Porsche coming out. That must
that was Hutchkiss, I think.
Hutchkiss. Or could be also Groby.
That is Hutchkiss.
That is Hutchkiss. Again, very close, but I don't think this is enough for Project PD.
It's definitely not enough. But maybe he's not trying to have a little bit of a gap through the bus stop to be able to catch up a bit. Maybe with not that much turbulences. Yeah. It seems like there was a little mistake.
Yeah, but also Fab Iceman, still, last lap was a 41.8, so he's sticking around in the front pack. Give them some space to fight against each other, but still in fighting range. 3.7 seconds, that's not much. And maybe he can gain some time through the pit strategy.
Yeah.
Or if Puffy and PD maybe start fighting completely, which definitely will have some negative outcome for the lap times.
Yeah, but I mean, that's definitely, I think, what all viewers want to see. That huge battle we praised at the beginning of the season, Puffy versus PD. I mean, we saw some parts of it, but we didn't really have that huge battle.
Again, going very wide in the last turn.
Yeah, I mean, the dream would be both battling for the championship at Bathurst, and who finishes first of these two wins the championship. I mean, that would be the dream, but
I think for that dream, Project PD needs to work a little bit harder at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And Puffy needs to do some mistakes, which he normally doesn't do. Or he's doing them not very often, and when he's doing them, when it's not really important.
I go a little bit further down the field. Let's have a look.
Yeah, let's have a look. So maybe, yeah, we're nearing race midway point of the race. So maybe let's go through the field. So we have Fab Iceman on P3. It seems like now he's stopping a little bit. Maybe it was a bit because of lap traffic. Now Diluvian in P4. I mean, he was talking in the pre-race interview that he isn't really confident that he's able to stay up here, but yeah, he's still in P4 and that's quite comfortable. So then on P5 we have Miyagi, closely followed by Night Tiger. Then P7 is Eugene Flerko, and after that we have Fenor. So they see each other, but they are not in fighting range. Then after a small gap we have Tao, teammate of Alex Salmon, and Andrex UK is currently second in the, if you call it, in the reserve drivers list.
Reserve driver championship.
The reserve driver championship, yeah.
Yeah, very strong P10 at the moment from Andrex.
Yeah. And what is said to be underpowered BMW, but seems like it isn't. Or
I
at least it isn't on this
wouldn't
track.
say underpowered. I would say maybe under
handling.
Yeah. Under aerodynamic. I don't know.
Something that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
but,
then 11th we have Nada currently being hunted by Flying Cayman.
Yeah, who's currently sitting in P12. That's very surprisingly, as I said before. He started P20, so already 8 positions.
Yeah, and he was able to get away of Battenberg again. I mean, it seems like it's only a matter of time that he gets passed by Battenberg, but
we maybe
so.
see a move in turn 1, but he decides to stick behind Nada for now. Little lock up, but that's fine. But he has now the best opportunity now to overtake after the S's. Definitely a top speed advantage. Full speed. Parking the left now.
It was a little bit wide through there, so I think he wasn't able to get the full momentum through there. Guys, he's getting nearer, but yeah, not near enough. Also a little bit of tiptoeing through the chicane and now again full on the throttle.
Yeah, but very clean. And here he's really getting close to Nada now. Like a little driving mistake. And now he's directly behind him.
Thank you, Rhaegar, for that information. We missed the pass.
We missed the pass, but I think there was a little driving mistake because Puffbauer did a 43.4.
Yeah, I was talking, so pretty much I jinxed it. I was talking, Puffy never does any mistakes when it's important. But yeah, he did. So sorry, Puffy, that one was me and not you. But yeah, let's see how the race develops the other way around. If Puffy isn't the hunted, but is the hunter.
Definitely not what he wanted. Again, behind the Corvette, again, the dirty air, which where the Ford is apparently suffering the most out of the GTE cars. So yeah, not going completely after plan for Puff Pirate, but we are already in the window for the mandatory pit stops.
Yeah, I think.
So maybe if he's maybe intelligent and don't want to drive behind PD, he's now just going into the pits and see how PD is reacting.
So Puffy's teammate already doing that. Flying Cayman in the pits, also Night Tiger, and we also have Vernax in the pits. So I think we'll see now more and more people coming to the pits in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Now the question is Puff Pirate going into the pits or is he staying out?
It seems like he's staying out. Seems like, yeah, he's staying out. I mean, I don't know how the rule is. Do they have to stay inside the white lines to get into the pits, or are they allowed to do a last moment move?
Well, usually it's white lines.
Yeah, I mean, it's very uncommon how the pit entry is in Watkins, Glen. So
yeah, but I think if you're cutting a little bit the white line, I think that's more safe than slowing down the last corner.
Yeah,
if a car is behind you, so I don't know. As long as there are no inquiries raised about that, I guess.
I mean, we already had several examples of how dangerous pit entries can be this season, with the big puddle at Silverstone and the missing measures at Sakido. So
yeah,
I mean, we have seen nearly everything on pit entries. So, and we also have Flurko and Fenor in the pits. They have company now by Nada and also Battenberg in the pits, but I think Nada wasn't serving his 5th place penalty at the start. He's surprisingly far in front currently, so. But yeah, we will see that at the end of the race.
But it looks like that Puff Pirate can still sticks behind Project PD.
Yeah, last lap was only 1/10 slower. Yeah, both are still staying out.
What about Fab Iceman? I think he's also staying out. Yes, he does.
So, of the top 5 guys, nobody has pitted. And yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Alex Selman already in 8th. Currently, gap of 49 seconds, so...
yeah, but he's still doing like low 41s.
He's still doing low 41s.
And that's...
but there must have been a mistake, because before the gap was only 45 seconds to the leader, so... I mean, he's probably pushing the car like hell, but then also doing mistakes, which is, yeah, ruining all his hard work.
Yeah, Puff Pirate can stick behind PD for now. Less than a second of a gap. Last lap he was even quicker. But we need to have a look at Salmon. He's
definitely. I mean, it's not that crazy charge like PD did at Silverstone, but it's still we have to consider him.
Yeah. The pit stop window, I'm not sure about it. Could be 30 to 40 seconds.
Yes, somewhat that. Yeah. So it might be with some luck. It could maybe be able to come out somewhere around Fab Iceman.
Yeah, or even in the battle with Diluvian.
Yeah.
But he would be...
I think it's definitely realistic that he will battle with Diluvian, but maybe he's even able to catch Fab Iceman.
Now it seems like PD is trying to get away a little bit. The 41.5 last lap, 3 times faster than Puffy. So he's now upping a pace a little bit, maybe to create a little gap for the mandatory pit stop.
I think that, yeah, might be a sign that he's pitting maybe this lap, next lap. It's normally a good strategy to try to push everything out of the tires before you come to the pits.
Yeah, but super important now that he's not doing a driver mistake. That could end his strategy before he even executes it.
That could end his strategy and his championship hopes. Because if Puffy goes with a gap that is larger than 40 points into the pre-to-last round at Hockenheim, I think he can be already somewhat comfortable and just have to stick around PD to secure the championship.
Last lap from Selman, only a 42.8. Was losing some ground again.
Yeah.
Again now, interesting question, are they going to the pits or not? And we also shouldn't forget Fab Iceman, who is sitting in P3 only 5 seconds behind the top 2.
Yeah, he's now losing a little bit of ground, although he was quite on pace the last lap.
And they're sticking out for another lap.
Although there is now some traffic coming up, so probably it would have been a good call to go to the pits now. But maybe it's only one car. I'm not sure about it.
This time, Puff Pirate again, 2/10 faster, roughly 1/10.
Isn't Battenberg? I'm quickly looking who it could be.
But there's some...
it's still a sausage.
Some stuff going on behind Battenberg, actually.
Yeah, that is true. Watkins is currently, now it's quite...
That's a lapped...
That's a lapped car,
Porsche. But I guess there's some fights going on.
With now the first of the top 5 guys, sorry to interrupt you there, in the pits, Miyagi. Yeah, Fab Iceman the last time around was about nearly a second slower than Puff Pirate and more than half a second slower than Project PD.
Yeah.
So he's losing a little bit of ground, but yeah, he has still a comfortable gap of 10 seconds, so maybe he's like, I don't want to risk too much, I can't catch them in the front anyway, so I'm trying to stick to P3. That's again stable championship points, and maybe there's still something happening in the front, we don't know. But Puffy now lost a little bit of ground through there, through the boot section, and also going wide. we have Project PD now in the pits. PD is pitting now. So will be interesting when we see Puffy in the pits. Of course.
So ideally, Buff Pirate wants to push now.
Yeah, wants to push now. Maybe 1 or 2 more laps and then come to the pits. Depends on how traffic develops. I mean, what I've seen, he don't have that much traffic in front of him. Yeah, he doesn't have that much traffic in front of him. I think that's only Silly Sausage who isn't too slow at the moment.
Another question is obviously, where is Salmon? Where is PD?
There's Salmon. There's Salmon. We have Salmon currently coming out of the GP section now, going back onto the section that is where short and GP layouts are merged together again. With PD already on the track again, so the gap between PD and Salmon is about 18 seconds. So Alex Salmon will probably be a little bit behind Diluvian after the pit stops.
Yeah.
I think that was the damage repair was what cost him that few seconds that will be missing at the end.
Yeah, but he was still putting in solid lap time, so 41.5.
That's true. But he came out 10 seconds in front of Miyagi, so that should be P5 currently, if you count out the pit stops. But yeah, Puffy is now catching up to Silly Sausage, so a wise move would be now going into the pits.
Also, Iceman is pitting this lap. At least Rigora is telling me that in the chat. Yeah, and Puff Pirate is pitting in as well.
Puff Pirate is pitting, yeah. So let's watch. Yeah, probably Rigora is watching both streams at the same time, because Fab Iceman is streaming his POV and probably requested his pit stop there. Most likely. Yeah, with now these two in the pits. Diluvian also going for the pits. So we have to watch where is Project PD. Already in the pre-to-last corner.
Would love to have the split screen now.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Wink, wink, SMS, wink, wink, we need that.
And it seems like PD is taking the lead again.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
That was a superb pit stop by Project PD.
Yeah, so I'm already again a little bit kind of skeptical. So maybe Puffy took too much fuel, or Project PD's pit crew is from outer space.
I mean, we saw that Project PD's lap time with pitting was 2 minutes and 6 seconds. If Puff Pirate is crossing the start-finish line, yeah, we will see his time. And yeah, we haven't noticed that Andrex is currently sitting in P3. I guess he hasn't pitted yet.
He hasn't pitted, he's yet to pit, yeah.
But he's still putting in solid lap times of mid-42s.
Yeah, it's about half a second to 7/10 slower than the top runners. But yeah, still quite consistent pace.
And Salmon is in front of the Diluvian.
Yeah, that was something I didn't expect, to be honest. And it's actually by quite a big margin. I mean, I was expecting them to be battling, but it's actually 7 seconds. And yeah, Alex Salmon now lapping, I think that is, yeah, Stitch in the orange Hankook.
A little lock up there, but nothing major.
The orange Hankook in W.
But now, obviously, Diluvian with a tire advantage.
Seems like I'm not allowed to say the word on stream now what I want to say, but it seems like the game is trolling us or whatever. Because now we have Puff Pirate again behind Project PD. So my theory would be that PD again had one of these strange bugs that not all tires were changed or anything, because probably he was waiting.
Yeah, otherwise, he did a 48. So he has waited, or there was a bigger driving mistake.
Yeah, maybe one of the two, but I think he waited. We definitely will get that information again until the next race. Or maybe we can get that information from Puffy after the race. We don't know yet.
And also Clark is saying Puff Pirate's pit stop was 6 seconds slower. He has a 2.12. Yeah, I think definitely 6 seconds. But I don't think the tire change is more than 6 seconds. Not too sure about it.
I'm also not sure. I mean, at once I think it was nearly 10 seconds that PD was ahead of Puff Pirate.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're now facing lap traffic, but yeah, I mean, the good thing about all this confusion is, again, we hopefully see another round of Project PD versus Puff Pirate.
And now Puff Pirate definitely in fighting range.
Yeah.
Maybe he's even trying turn 1 and he's having a look. But yeah, obviously sometimes you just want to have a look, maybe to get to the driver's head in front of you, but I think PD is professional enough that something like that is not really disturbing him. But now Puff Pirate maybe with an attack in the bus stop. As we said before, the Ford definitely stronger on the back straight than the Corvette, but it seems like it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it seems like he lost a little bit of ground for there.
Also see Fab Iceman is now putting faster laps in 41.5 with Salmon with a 41.4, so TD and Puff Pirate both slower at the moment at the front.
Yeah, and I was confused for a short time because Andrex is still in there, so I was like, oh, Fab Iceman actually gained a second or so, but he's currently behind Andrex. He's probably hoping that Andrex will pit maybe this lap already. Because he's about, seconds slower on old tires.
And there's also a fight going on between Fino and Flurko. They should be quite close to each other.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not that close, but Fino is actually somewhat close to catch a glimpse of those Warlocks, to say their full name once. But he's mostly only known as Catch a Glimpse.
Yeah, it's shorter. But again, Corvette against Ford. It's like the most favorite battle in the Revolution Cup.
Well, Ford, there are actually only 4 Corvettes in there, and both running right a little bit there. But I will definitely keep an eye now on the timings, because I don't want to miss again.
Me too.
Battling between Puff and PD.
But this is a quite nice freeway battle we are seeing here.
There was definitely something happening with the Lewin, now in P8 with some damage to the left front. And yeah, he was in P6 before, so that was definitely a crash or anything. And his left front definitely looks used, say it like this.
And last lap we have again PD with a 41.7, Puffy with a 42.1 and Fab Iceman with a 41.1.
41.1.
Iceman is closing the gap rapidly.
Yeah, he is now also passed Andrex UK, which was only a matter of time on much fresher tires. But yeah, he's definitely trying to maybe get a little bit closer and get into the minds of the top 2 guys.
Yeah, Iceman now on a mission here. So definitely need a closer look at Fab Iceman and his lap times compared to PD and Puff Pirate.
Now the gap is again a little bit bigger than before. And yeah, nearly dead even. Only 600ths of a second difference the last lap. And I just read in the comments that Iceman is fighting a wheel issue. His wheel is coming loose, so that is actually even more incredible to do these lap times. But probably his table mount is faulty or anything.
But Iceman is not fighting the top 2, he's also fighting his own wheel.
Yeah.
But still very impressive. With
That's
his 41.8,
yeah.
very impressive. Let's hope he can maybe fix that in the next couple laps, because he is definitely in fighting range if he can maintain his pace. Go a little bit further down the field. I know we're focusing a little bit too much on PD and Puff Pirate, but it's so interesting and exciting.
Yeah. I think now it's the wrong time, because there might be maybe something with Puff Pirate now coming closer again.
If really PD didn't change his tires, definitely now in a disadvantage by the end of the second half of the race, because Puffy with fresher rubber, definitely more grip in the corners.
Yeah, let's have a look once again at the lap times. 41.8 for PD against 41.596. So Puff Pirate was roughly 0.2 of a second quicker this time.
But now he had a perfect exit of turn 1.
Yeah, that was
perfect exit. Is now really behind PD, but the attack must come now. PD sticking to the right side, defensive line, Puff Pirate going left. Maybe it's enough. No, it's
side
not
by
enough.
side, but yeah, he's not doing it. That's just too risky going side by side for there.
The straight was a little bit longer and then could be really a potential move, but
yeah. I mean, he's probably thinking, why is that stupid bus stop there? Because otherwise, I think it could have been interesting. And side by side for the outer loop, I think doable, more comfortable than for the bus stop. But yeah, it seems like a little bit more settled, so maybe... Okay, yeah, Catcher Clamps is currently under attack by Eugene Flacker. Similar situation than we had before. But yeah, also no position changes there. Seems like Battenberg is not back in P18. Would be interesting what happened to him, because he was actually on a very strong run earlier. Yeah, that is unfortunate. That is not allowed to do the Schumacher and pit cross finish. But yeah, would be definitely an interesting strategy. But I think we had that back in the days of season 1.
Yeah.
What I've read. So some people were trying to find every loophole in the rules.
But still very crazy. He's still in the mid 42s, which is definitely a solid pace on those one tires.
It seems like that maybe the BMW is a little bit easier on the tires, doesn't stress them too much. Yeah, it seems like now there is kind of a group building there, with Feenor, Catcher Glimpse and Eugene Flacker. And I think, yeah, Feenor is definitely attacking the Luvian, who is in a
might be the first move overtaking in the bus stop, and that was executed perfectly. So Feenor now P8, Luvian is losing another position now, sitting in P9. But yeah, now he has to look behind him. There's also Catcher Glimpse and Flurko, which evolves into a 4-man battle here.
Yeah, but you maybe have to say that the Luvian wasn't defending with everything he had, because maybe of the damaged car, lower top speed.
Yeah,
so
but I guess
and Feenor had the inside for the corner, so it was a little bit more doable than if he would have had to go to the outside.
But especially in the last 10 minutes, I think you want to defend with all you've got.
So yeah, and we are now with only 10 minutes left. And Half Pirate is again very close and Project PD. Seems like this time Project D got a better run through the boot section. And I think there's also some map traffic coming up, yeah. Might be interesting how they deal with that. I think that's probably...
That could be
Nada, Watkins and Battenberg, that group.
That's even a fighting pack for position. So this will be quite interesting. Let's stick with Battenberg and Watkins. I mean, we will see Puff Pirate and PD in the rear of them. So this maybe come quite handy.
I have to interrupt you, but
again, a super exit.
Very close again.
But again, PD is closing already left, giving Puff Pirate the outside, which makes it quite impossible to overtake on the bus stop.
Yeah. And now PD was also doing a wise move to go shortly before the chicane, going a little bit more to the left to get better entry to the bus stop.
And now go back to Nada, to Nada and Battenberg.
Yeah, because now we see the whole group.
Yeah. Now, 2 packs. I think this is fight for P18 and fight for P1. This is maybe now the situation Puff Pirate maybe needs. Some confusion, like a battling pack in front, and maybe he has now the opportunity to somehow overtake PD in this lapping mess.
Yeah, I mean, Nada shouldn't be that much of a problem for Project PD, I think, because he's more or less teammate. He's probably also capitalizing on the very strong relationship between PD and Fenor, and
Nada is making definitely space that gives Watkins and Battenberg obviously an advantage. But I don't think that Watkins and Battenberg will be so nice.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
About giving that position, because that created quite a big gap actually from Nada to Watkins.
Nada was turning to the left, and he was probably not staying on the throttle at all, or even braking. But Puff Pirate once again. I think it's now the 3rd time in a row that he's quite close in slipstream. And with 6 minutes to go, I think we have 3 more laps. Puffy having a little bit of a look, but not doing anything.
It's now the 2 back markers need to help Puff Pirate in that situation. Otherwise,
I think Watkins was also sacrificing his position there, going wide. I hate that cut in that corner. That is really
But we have now Battenberg. Maybe the Ferrari is helping the Ford.
I don't think so. Ferrari and Ford never liked each other, so.
But Battenberg is not lifting as the others. Now he does. Does he let Puff Pirate through? Yes, he does. But still, Battenberg with a slight advantage now over Watkins and Nada.
Yeah, because he definitely lost. He didn't lose as much time than the others. I'll say it like this.
But of that mess, Fab Iceman could also catch up a little bit.
He's
but
now nearly within 3 seconds.
But obviously he needs to lap now the cars as well.
Yeah, I mean he's probably he's getting Nada now on start finish. So, and Andrex still didn't pit, so it'll be interesting when we see him in the pits. There's roughly 3 laps to go, so interesting if Andrex did read the rules or not.
Be continued. And now with the... Ooh, that was quite close from Puffbright. Look on the inside. But it's not enough on the straight.
Maybe it looked a little bit closer from this angle, but... Yeah. I think we definitely have to stay with these two guys now for the last 5 minutes. To see everything that is happening between them. Seems like PD was a little bit unstable through there. A little bit that the rear dancing around. Maybe we can also do a little bit of fuel comparison between these two. Puffy currently with 10.7 liters left.
PD with
Project PD with 12.7. I mean, we know that the Corvette is a little bit more fuel efficient than the Ford. And maybe PD was also a little bit more safe on the calculation.
Pretty sure that Puffbright is on the edge of the calculation.
So,
he needs every second.
We have now 3 minutes 50 left, so we could see even more 3 more laps. Or 2 more laps after this one. So that will be interesting.
Somebody needs to get a message to Hendrix that he has to stop now or he'll find himself having a conversation with the stewards.
A.K. Cluck.
A.k.a. Cluck. Yeah, PD is closing again the inside. Seems like that's the golden move.
Oh, Puffy a little mistake through there. He was running a little deep through there, but not that much time lost.
But also Fab Iceman is closing in again, only 3 seconds behind him, but...
The two are battling, and they impede each other a little bit, so a little bit of time lost. I mean, Fab Iceman was a little bit slower the last time, but maybe some of our very concentrated viewers can tell us if Fab is still fighting his wheel issues.
It looks like the gap is now a little bit bigger.
That's
half a second. We're seeing 2 more laps actually. If we're lucky, 2 more laps.
If we should come in with more than 1 minute 40 left. Will be roughly 2 minutes left. And he come out a bit over the start-finish line.
But what does the fuel level of Puffbright says now?
What does the fuel? 7.7. So it's roughly 3 liters per lap. It will be
super
really close. Really close.
And I'm also seeing that Fab Iceman is short on fuel, 2 to 3 liters.
Yeah, 2.1. He's never doing that. I think he has to do the splash this lap. And Andrex is now in the pits, which means he did read the rules. But yeah, Fab Iceman, very unfortunate, low on fuel, so we will have to make the splash and dash, which will probably bring him back to P5, maybe P6. I'm a little bit more cautious now with the calculations.
Like maybe in front of Hendrix, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think he's losing that much time because he's probably only putting in 3 liters, so that's 1 or 2 seconds pit stop. He's going out again. But they will probably lose 20 seconds, which will mean he will come out somewhere around Miyagi, I think. But yeah, now I think Puffy is maybe trying to think of a strategy for the last lap. I think if he gets the chance, I think he's sticking in this time at bus stop. But the question will be, does he get the chance?
Again, very close, the last corner. Roughly 2 to 3/10. Yeah, but I guess he will try again on the back straight, but again, it won't work. He tried it a couple times already, so it's basically wait for a mistake.
Yeah, the white flag has wove. We are in the final lap, and yeah, as expected, Fab Iceman is in the pits. He's
now very close. If he can stick his car already to the right side, but yeah, but PD stays just stubborn on the right side. There's no way Puff Pirate can overtake.
Yeah, they're trying it, but he's still... Yeah, now side by side.
Now side by side.
And Rob...
And Puff Pirate, some contact.
There was some contact.
But Puff Pirate made it stick.
Made it. But through the chute, he's trying the outside move. No.
And there was some contact. Oh, and a huge impact from Project PD. I'm not sure if that was because of the contact or if he ran out wide naturally. But
I think it was both together, but he was wide and maybe also going a little bit deep and maybe got a little bit of help from Puffy. But yeah, that's... Project PD is not going for the back-to-back, and it really seems like Puff Pirate will take home the second win. The first driver who is able to score more than one win.
What a crazy maneuver by Puff Pirate in the last lap. That was like really, with all the weapons he had, that was quite crazy actually.
But yeah, definitely, we definitely want more of the Puff Pirate versus PD.
Exactly.
And yeah, we got information of Cluck. He was timing pit stops. Project PD's pit stop was 41 seconds. Puff Pirates was 46 seconds. So there wasn't any issue. So PD was probably doing a mistake. And we have Fab Iceman able to come in at 6th place.
As you know enough.
He was still quite close on full calculation, so he was only taking what was necessary.
Yeah,
that means that Alex Selman, although his race started very poor, is still able to come back in 3rd place. Mike Tiger coming home in 6th, with followed by Fino in 7th, and Andrex UK coming home in 8th.
Oh, he gained 2 more positions.
Steve G able to recover from also what seemed to be a very bad race in P9.
Oh, and there was some
that was Eugene Flurko, I think.
From Flurko. Peeled quite close actually in the last couple laps.
We have Diluvian coming back in P5. He's out of fuel, but he's making it.
With the last meters, he's running out of fuel and lost another position.
And Narco, last but not least.
Wow.
And that was round 4.
That was a crazy round.
Definitely crazy round, yeah. So yeah, Puff Pirate taking the win in front of Jack PD and Alex Selman.
Also the fastest lap. Oh, that was very close, but I think the fastest lap goes to Fab Iceman.
Yeah, Fab Iceman, 141.124.
That was quite close in the front. Unfortunately, Salmon with the contact in the first couple laps, and Iceman also, yeah, miscalculating, I would say. Not sure what happened there.
Yeah, I think he would definitely have had a shot for the win, I think. But yeah,
crazy
it was
stuff.
definitely a stupid young driver mistake.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I'm thinking, I don't know. Let's ask Iceman what went wrong with the calculation. I'm pretty interested.
And also ask him about the wheel issues.
Hello, Mr. Iceman.
Hello, Manu. Hello, Wayfarer.
We need to pull you again in. How was the race for you, first of all?
The race went better than expected, to be honest. I didn't see myself top 3 during the race. I saw myself, I don't know, top 6, top 7, somewhere like that. But yeah, it's my pace was actually quite okay during the race, and I had free space, no battles during the race, and the last 10 minutes I figured, hey, I'm slowly catching up to those guys, and so. Yeah, I really pushed to catch up, and then all of a sudden I realized, oh, I'm running out of fuel.
Oh, but how did it happen? Just like a couple clicks to less on the fuel calculation, or was it just like because of the pushing, the car used more fuel in the end?
I don't know, to be honest. I calculated myself the use of 89 liters. The tank fits 88 liters, so I put like 2 extra, and just before the race I put like 3 extra liters. And then when I was about to pit, I was questioning myself, will it be enough? And
okay.
yeah, I thought like, okay, it will be enough. I'm gonna give it a try. Really thought it would be enough.
Well, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't, unfortunately.
And then we also got the intel from Gozer, actually. They were fighting the wheel again, but still putting like lap times under 42 in. It was also quite impressive, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
I know you really
super
shows.
good race.
So yeah, really awesome. In the end, still P4. Could have been P3, obviously, but yeah, it happens. But again, a quite strong result, actually. You're still a newcomer to RSR, so it's definitely a strong result for you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
All right, then don't celebrate too much. Yeah? Tomorrow we have to, everyone has to work again.
Yeah.
And yeah, many thanks for the time and for the participation.
Yeah, thank you too.
All right, see ya, pup.
Have a good night. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
So,
unfortunate. Do we want to talk with one more?
I mean, I have to say I'm already a little bit short of time, so.
Well, then, if you want to go, then I commentate. Then I interview them alone. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. Unfortunately, university is calling tomorrow again.
What is university?
And a very early uptime, so and there's also still some studying to do. So it was again a pleasure to be here. We had a great race. I'm definitely looking forward to race 5 at Hockenheim, and especially the big season finale at Bathurst. So I think we'll see each other in 2 weeks' time. At the latest.
I hope we see us earlier, but I mean that's off stream.
But that's off stream, of course. Yeah, I mean in the commentary booth.
Yeah,
everything. So yeah, have a great
dokie.
night, guys, and enjoy the rest of the interviews.
Okie dokie, bye. Right. Oh, I'm completely alone. I'm not sure. Let's pull up Steve. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
You're not sounding very good, actually.
Not really, no.
Not
Bad
really.
start.
Not really. Yeah, Wayfarer already left, unfortunately, so it's me alone, and I thought, okay, we heard enough of Puff Pirate and PD and all of them. But one thing we saw was actually that you were like at some point like dead last in the race. So what happened there exactly?
Well, I had a few mishaps. I tapped Verno in turn 1, and then I hit the barrier going up like the S's onto the long straight. Then I had another spin in front of Alex, hit the wall, and I ended up with a lot of damage, so I had to pit early. Then I just plodded on from there, really.
Yeah, but still, I'm not sure if you're like really pleased with the P9.
Very pleased.
But I guess it was quite a good recovery, actually, from really dead last with a couple of seconds to P26 or P25. Still
Yeah.
P9. I guess it's still somehow remarkable.
Luckily,
yeah.
I had a very clear track. It was empty, so I could put the laps in.
Awesome.
And that helped me.
At least, I know it's maybe not the best result for you, but I'm not sure actually what your results were in the last couple of races. I'm so uninformed.
No, I'm very happy with P9. Very happy.
Okay. Well, then I guess many thanks for driving tonight and for be a driver for RSR. And yeah, next race is in Hockenheim. Maybe a track which suits you better. I don't know. It's my home track. I'm living 20 minutes away from Hockenheim, so I want to see some action. All right, Steve. Then many thanks for being here and enjoy your evening.
All right, thanks, Manu.
All right. I guess that's it for tonight. I'm already. Yes, I'm alone, Clark. I'm dead alone here in my commentator box. If I click on the commentator box, it says current clients 1. So I'm definitely alone here. But yeah, I'm not alone in the chat. anyway, many thanks for watching tonight. I hope you had some good fun. I had definitely fun watching, especially the second half of the race was again action-packed, same as last week in Sakito. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't want to make like you like it, subscribe and thumbs up. Also, I don't know if you want to get involved into all of that, just go to revolutionsimracing.com. I can post into the chat as well if you want to be involved, if you want to be part of us, if you want to maybe participate in the next season whatsoever. Just check it out, sign up. You have to go through induction process. That you may be our next champion or maybe fighting for a podium position. Who knows? You never know, obviously. So yeah, thanks again. And yeah, we'll see us again in 2 weeks' time. And that is in Hockenheim. So have a good night, guys.